The EuroMaidan Revolution completely changed Ukraine's history. It drove President Viktor Yanukovych from power, ending his corrupt reign and halting his policy of moving the country into Moscow's orbit. Ukraine finally made its choice to integrate with Europe. But the price of the revolution was steep. 78 protesters were killed. And despite many positive changes since the revolution, 6 years later, the crimes committed during Euromaidan remain largely unsolved. Moreover, the investigations into these crimes are under threat. To understand why, let's first remember the main stages of Euromaidan. On November 30th, 2013, riot police brutally beat up hundreds of students who held a protest at Ukraine's Maidan Nezalezhnosti. Ukrainians were outraged by police actions. On December 1st, up to 1 million people rallied in downtown Kyiv. Groups of protesters tried to storm the presidential administration. The Berkut riot police responded by beating demonstrators, journalists, and passerbys. On the morning of January 22nd, the first protesters were killed. They were activists Serhiy Nihayan, Mikhail Zhizhnevsky, and Roman Senik. Later, Euromaidan activists uncovered the death of Yuri Verbitsky. He had been kidnapped and tortured on January 21st and died the following day. On February 18th, protesters marched to Parliament. The police blocked the roads, which led to clashes between protesters, police, and thugs hired by authorities. The following night, the police stormed and burned down the camp at Maidan Nezalezhnosti. At least 23 protesters were killed and hundreds wounded. At least 5 police officers were also killed. Early in the morning, someone began shooting the Berkut riot police at Maidan Nezalezhnosti. The Berkut officers started to retreat with activists chasing them up Institutska Street. Then the police started shooting at the activists, who were unarmed, which led to the killing of 48 protesters. At least 4 police officers were also killed, including 2 Berkut members. 6 years on, only 2 hired thugs are in jail for those crimes. 2 more are in pre-trial detention. No police officers, judges, prosecutors, or other officials have gone to prison so far. But unlike in previous years, where the investigation was slowly moving ahead, currently, the situation is getting worse. The Prosecutor General's office disbanded the department investigating the Euromaidan cases and fired its chief. In January, Yanukovych's lawyer, Alexander Babikov, was appointed as the first deputy chief of the State Investigative Bureau, the agency which is now investigating the Euromaidan crimes. Moreover, some of the top officials from the Yanukovych era returned to Ukraine without consequences. Andriy Portnov, a deputy head of Yanukovych's administration, returned to Ukraine in May. I want to give a signal to thousands of people who left Ukraine. It is time to return, build, renovate it, he wrote on his Telegram Messenger channel. In December, 5 former officers of Berkut riot police who were charged with the murders of the Euromaidan protesters were freed and exchanged with Russian-backed militants following an agreement with Russia. The families of the 48 activists killed by the Berkut officers on February 20th lost their chance to seek justice.